Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Channel. Tonight, we're stepping into the living world of the forest. Not just as a place of trees and shade, but as one of Earth's most complex, surprising, and powerful systems. They make their own weather, recycle the planet's air, and store entire ecosystems of life within their wood. Connecting it all together are complex networks of roots and fungi communicating in the dark soil below. Some trees standing today began life thousands of years ago. And high above the forest floor, entire worlds unfold in the canopy, where animals hunt, nest, leap, and vanish among the leaves. Forests are not as still as they appear. They are breathing, thinking, and constantly adapting to their surroundings. Every branch, leaf, and rotting log belongs to a larger story. A story of survival, connection, and life renewing itself in ways we are only beginning to understand. If you enjoy these gentle journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, all you need to do is settle in. Let your shoulders soften. Allow your breathing to slow. And as the day begins to gently fade away, join me as we explore this living world together. Let's begin. Forests create the oxygen that life depends on. Every leaf is a tiny solar-powered workshop. Inside it, sunlight strikes green chlorophyll, and the tree begins the ancient chemistry of photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide enters through small openings in the leaf. Water rises from the roots, and together they are rearranged into sugars that feed the plant. Oxygen is released as a byproduct, drifting back into the air around us. This is one of the great exchanges that makes life on land possible. Forests are not the only source of oxygen, since ocean plankton also plays an enormous role, but the contribution of trees is still profound. A single mature tree can support the breathing needs of living creatures in ways that feel almost invisible from day to day. What makes it even more astonishing is that this process also builds wood, leaves, fruit, flowers, and seeds. A forest is sunlight turned into matter, and every breath you take carries a trace of that green transformation. Some forests create their own rain and shape distant weather. In great tropical forests, trees do not simply wait for clouds to arrive. They help build them. Through a process called transpiration, roots draw water from the soil, and leaves release it as vapor into the air. Over billions of leaves, this becomes a vast atmospheric current of moisture. In the Amazon, so much water is lifted this way that the forest helps feed rivers in the sky. Those moving bands of humid air can travel far beyond the treetops, influencing rainfall across farms, grasslands, and cities. The forest also releases microscopic particles that help water vapor gather into droplets, making cloud formation easier. When a large woodland is damaged, the change is not only local. Less moisture rises. Fewer clouds gather. Rainfall patterns can weaken in places far away. This makes a living woodland more than scenery. It is part of the planet's weather machinery, helping turn sunlight, leaves, and water into rain. Beneath forest soil, fungi link trees into living networks. Under your feet, the forest has a second architecture. It is made not of trunks and branches, but of fine fungal threads called hyphae. These threads weave around roots and extend outward through soil, reaching places that roots alone cannot easily enter. Many trees form partnerships with these fungi. The tree gives sugar made from sunlight, while the fungus supplies minerals and water gathered from the ground. This exchange is not random. It happens across living connections so delicate that a handful of soil can contain a maze of them. Through these underground partnerships, resources may move between plants, especially when one tree is shaded or stressed. Scientists are still studying how much information travels through these systems, but the basic relationship is extraordinary enough. A forest is not merely a collection of separate individuals. It is a community joined by hidden filaments, where sunlight captured above can be exchanged for nutrients gathered in darkness below. The Amazon holds more species than any other land habitat. Step into this vast tropical region and the meaning of abundance changes. The forest contains towering trees, orchids, frogs, beetles, monkeys, fish, birds, fungi, and countless organisms that still have no scientific name. The richness comes from many forces working together. Warmth lasts throughout the year. Rainfall is generous. Rivers create barriers and corridors. Different layers of vegetation produce many kinds of shelter, food, and hunting space. A creature living in the leaf litter may never meet one that spends its whole life in the canopy, even though they share the same forest. This layering allows life to specialize in remarkable ways. One tree can host ants, epiphytes, birds, lichens, spiders, and insects feeding on one another in a miniature universe of relationships. What makes the Amazon so captivating is not only its scale. It is the way life there seems to branch endlessly, creating more niches, more strategies, and more surprises than the human mind can easily hold. Some trees alive today began growing before ancient empires rose. A few trees have stood through a span of history that makes human lifetimes feel like sparks. Bristlecone pines in the mountains of western North America can live for thousands of years, surviving cold, dry winds in places where other plants struggle to remain. Their twisted trunks are not signs of weakness. They are records of endurance. Slow growth makes their wood dense and resistant to decay. Harsh conditions limit pests and competition. Instead of rushing upward, these trees persist by doing almost everything slowly. While languages changed, kingdoms expanded, monuments weathered, and generations vanished, their roots remained in the same rocky ground. Each ring inside the wood holds a year of weather, sometimes thin from hardship, sometimes wider from better conditions. To stand near such a tree is to meet a living archive. It has no memory in the human sense, yet its body has recorded cold seasons, dry years, and sunlight from ages long gone. Forest canopies can hide entire worlds above the ground. High above the soil, branches interlock into a living roof. For a long time, scientists knew far less about this upper realm than the forest floor, because it was difficult and dangerous to reach. Once researchers began climbing, using cranes, ropes, walkways, and balloons, they discovered a habitat with its own rhythms. Leaves catch the strongest sunlight. Flowers bloom where pollinators travel through open air. Birds nest in forks of branches. Insects feed, mate, hunt, and hide among the layers of green. Some mammals spend nearly their whole lives overhead, moving through branches as confidently as fish move through water. Plants can grow on other plants, collecting rain and fallen debris without ever touching the ground. In tropical forests, the canopy may hold more species than the soil below. It is a vertical wilderness, lifted into the light, where every branch becomes a road and every cluster of leaves can shelter an unseen drama. A fallen log becomes a city for thousands of organisms. When a tree falls, its life as shelter has only begun. Beetles arrive first, tunneling through bark and wood. Fungi follow, sending threads through the trunk and breaking down tough cellulose and lignin. Mosses spread across the damp surface. Salamanders shelter underneath. Ants explore old cracks. Snails graze on films of growth. Over time, the log softens and begins to merge with the soil, but it remains full of activity at every stage. What looks like waste is actually a slow feast. Nutrients locked inside the wood are released and returned to the ground, where roots can take them up again. Small animals hide from predators in its hollows. Seeds may sprout on its surface, using the decaying trunk as a raised bed. A fallen tree becomes a bridge between life and death, proving that in a forest, endings are rarely final. They are beginnings wearing another form. Wildfires can unlock seeds that wait years for heat. Fire seems like pure destruction when it races through dry woods, yet many landscapes have evolved with it for ages. In some forests, flames clear thick undergrowth, return minerals to the soil, and open space where young plants can grow. Certain seeds are adapted to this rhythm. Some are sealed in cones with resin that softens only under intense heat. Others germinate better after smoke chemicals touch the soil. This means a blaze can act like an alarm clock, waking a generation that has been waiting in silence. Lodgepole pines and several species of Banksia show how closely plants can be tied to fire. Their future depends on a force that appears at first to erase everything. Of course, fires that are too frequent or too intense can overwhelm these systems, but under natural patterns, heat can be part of renewal. The forest burns, the canopy opens, and hidden life rises from the ash. The boreal forest stores astonishing carbon in frozen northern soils. Across the high latitudes of North America, Europe, and Asia stretches a vast belt of spruce, pine, fir, larch, moss, and peat. This northern woodland is called the boreal forest, or taiga, and much of its power lies underground. Cold temperatures slow decay, so dead plant material does not break down quickly. Instead, it gathers in soils, wetlands, and peatlands, where carbon can remain locked away for centuries or even longer. In places with permafrost, the frozen ground preserves organic matter like a deep natural vault. This makes the boreal region one of the planet's major carbon reservoirs. Its trees matter, but its soils matter even more. When warming, drainage, or severe fire disturbs these stores, ancient carbon can return to the atmosphere. The landscape may look sparse compared with a rainforest, yet beneath the moss is a hidden climate archive, built from needles, roots, and seasons of slow decay. Forests are not silent places, because life is always communicating. A woodland may seem still from a distance, but it is full of signals. Birds call to defend territory, attract mates, and warn of danger. Insects vibrate stems, drum on wood, or release scents that guide others to food. Mammals mark paths with odor and listen for subtle changes in movement. Plants also participate, though their messages are chemical rather than spoken. When leaves are damaged, some species release airborne compounds that can prime nearby plants to strengthen their defenses. Roots respond to moisture, minerals, gravity, and neighboring growth. Even the creak of a tree in wind tells animals something about the space around them. Communication here does not require words. It can be scent, color, movement, pressure, timing, or electricity. The fascination lies in how much is happening beyond human perception. To us, the forest may sound like birdsong and rustling leaves. To its inhabitants, it is a constant exchange of warnings, invitations, and instructions. Tree roots can recognize close relatives growing nearby. Plants do not think like animals, yet their behavior can be surprisingly selective. In studies of several species, young plants have grown differently when surrounded by close kin compared with unrelated neighbors. Their roots may compete less aggressively with relatives, leaving more space and resources for shared genetic success. This kind of recognition often depends on chemical cues released into the soil. The plant senses its surroundings through root tips, which are sensitive, active, and constantly exploring. Instead of seeing a family member, it detects molecular signatures that alter growth. This changes how we imagine a stand of seedlings. It is not just a crowd of identical sprouts racing blindly for nutrients. There may be subtle choices happening below ground, shaped by evolution and the pressure to survive together. In dense forests, where every patch of light and every mineral matters, even small adjustments can influence which plants thrive and how the next generation takes hold. Some plants warn their neighbors when insects begin attacking. A leaf being chewed is not helpless. As caterpillars or beetles feed, damaged plant tissue can release airborne chemicals into the surrounding air. Nearby plants may detect these compounds and begin preparing defenses before the insects reach them. They might produce bitter substances, toughen their leaves, or alter their chemistry to become less appealing. Some plants even release scents that attract predators or parasites of the attackers, turning the surrounding ecosystem into a defense system. This does not mean plants are planning in the way animals do. It means evolution has shaped chemical responses that work like an early warning network. A single attacked branch can change the behavior of neighboring leaves and nearby plants. The result is strangely dramatic. A small insect bite can ripple outward as invisible information moving through the air between stems. What looks like still vegetation may actually be reacting, preparing, and recruiting help in real time. Acacia trees can summon ants to defend their leaves. In some tropical and subtropical regions, acacias have formed one of nature's most memorable partnerships. The tree provides ants with shelter inside hollow thorns and feeds them sugary nectar from special glands. In return, the ants patrol the branches with fierce dedication. When a browsing animal, vine, or hungry insect touches the tree, the ants rush out and attack. They bite, sting, and swarm with such intensity that many herbivores learn to avoid the plant altogether. Some species even true back competing vegetation nearby, keeping their host in better light. This relationship shows how defense can be outsourced. Instead of relying only on thorns or toxins, the tree supports a standing army. For the ants, the tree is home, food source, and territory. For the acacia, the colony is protection in motion. It is a striking example of mutualism, where two very different forms of life become stronger because each one meets the other's needs. Forest elephants create pathways that reshape entire plant communities. In the rainforests of Central and West Africa, elephants are not only large animals moving through trees. They are ecological engineers. As they travel, they push through dense growth and create roots used by other creatures. They feed on fruit, bark, leaves, and branches, opening gaps where sunlight can reach the ground. Their dung carries seeds away from parent trees, often wrapped in natural fertilizer. Some large-seeded plants depend heavily on these journeys because smaller animals cannot swallow or transport their seeds as effectively. Over time, elephant movement can influence which tree species spread and where young plants take root. By browsing some vegetation and dispersing others, they help shape the structure of the forest itself. This makes their disappearance especially serious. Losing such animals does not only mean losing a species. It can change the future composition of an entire woodland, reducing the reach of plants that once traveled through the forest inside them. Woodpeckers protect their brains from repeated high-speed impacts. A woodpecker can hammer its beak into bark thousands of times in a day, yet it does not suffer damage the way a human would from similar blows. Its survival depends on a remarkable set of adaptations. The skull is shaped to distribute force. The beak and bone structure help absorb impact. Strong neck muscles guide the strike in a straight line, reducing twisting. A long, specialized tongue wraps around parts of the skull, adding support and helping the bird extract insects from tunnels after drilling. The brain is also positioned tightly inside the skull, leaving little room for dangerous movement. What seems like frantic tapping is actually precision engineering in living form. Woodpeckers drum to find food, create nest cavities, and communicate across the trees. Their excavations later become homes for owls, bats, squirrels, and other animals. One bird's impact becomes a doorway for many lives. Owls fly almost silently because their feathers soften turbulence. Most birds make sound when air rushes across their wings, especially during fast flight. Owls are different. Their feathers are shaped to reduce noise in several ways at once. The leading edges of the wings have comb-like fringes that break incoming air into smaller currents. The trailing edges are soft, helping smooth the airflow as it leaves the wing. A velvety surface on the feathers absorbs additional sound. Together, these features make the wing beat almost impossible for many prey animals to detect. This matters because owls often hunt creatures with sharp hearing, such as mice and voles. Silence lets the hunter approach without warning and also helps the owl listen while flying. In a dark forest, where vision is limited and every rustle matters, this ability is extraordinary. The owl becomes a shape moving through air with very little disturbance, guided by hearing, balance, and feathers tuned by evolution for stealth. Leafcutter ants farm fungi in underground chambers beneath forests. In tropical forests, streams of leafcutter ants can look as if the ground itself has begun to carry green sails. Each worker cuts pieces of leaves and brings them back to the nest, but the ants do not eat the leaves directly. Instead, they use the plant material to feed a cultivated fungus. Deep inside their underground chambers, the colony maintains gardens with astonishing care. Workers clean them, prune them, remove contaminants, and add fresh leaf fragments at the right time. The fungus breaks down the plant matter and produces nutritious structures that the ants eat. This agricultural system existed millions of years before humans planted crops. Some colonies contain millions of individuals, organized into castes with different jobs. Tiny workers tend the gardens. Larger ones cut leaves. Soldiers defend the trails. Beneath the forest floor, these insects run a living farm, powered by leaves, cooperation, and one of the oldest partnerships in nature. Termites build hidden soil structures that help forests recycle nutrients. Termites are often misunderstood as simple destroyers of wood, but in forests they are essential decomposers. Many species feed on dead plant material that other animals cannot easily digest. Their gut microbes help break down tough fibers, releasing nutrients that would otherwise remain locked in fallen branches and dry stems. As termites tunnel and build, they mix soil, improve aeration, and move minerals through the ground. Some construct mounds that regulate temperature and moisture with surprising efficiency. Others live unseen inside logs or underground networks. In tropical forests, their activity can be especially important during dry periods, when their tunnels help water soak into soil and their feeding keeps decomposition moving. By turning dead matter into material that plants can use again, termites help sustain the cycle of growth. Their work happens in darkness and is easy to overlook, yet without these small recyclers, forests would be burdened with far more waste and far fewer returned nutrients. Sloths grow algae in their fur, helping them disappear. A sloth's coat is not just hair. It is a miniature habitat. Each strand has grooves and cracks that can hold moisture, allowing algae to grow across the animal's body. This greenish tint may help sloths blend into the forest canopy, where leaves, moss, and shadow break up their outline. The fur also shelters moths, beetles, and other small organisms that live in close association with the animal. Sloths move so slowly that camouflage is one of their greatest defenses. Instead of fleeing quickly from predators, they often avoid detection altogether. Their slow metabolism, low-energy diet, and careful movements all fit this strategy. Hanging upside down among branches, a sloth can look less like an animal and more like part of the tree. What seems lazy is actually specialized survival. Its body, behavior, and even its resident algae create a life designed for patience in the canopy. Flying squirrels glow pink under ultraviolet light. For a long time, flying squirrels seemed mysterious enough simply because they glide through forests at night. Then researchers discovered something even stranger. Under ultraviolet light, their fur can shine in bright pink tones. This fluorescence is not visible in ordinary daylight, but it appears clearly under certain wavelengths. Scientists are still investigating why it happens. It may play a role in communication, camouflage under twilight conditions, or species recognition. It might also be an accidental feature of fur chemistry with no special purpose. Whatever the reason, the discovery changed how people imagined these nocturnal animals. A creature that already slipped between trees on membranes of skin had another hidden quality, visible only under light beyond normal human sight. It reminds us that forests contain dimensions our senses miss. To an owl, an insect, or another squirrel, the night may not look like darkness at all. It may be filled with signals we are only beginning to notice. Some frogs raise tadpoles inside tiny pools in leaves. In tropical forests, water does not only gather in streams and ponds. It can collect high above the ground, held in the cups of bromeliads, curled leaves, tree holes, and other tiny reservoirs. For certain frogs, these little pockets become nurseries. A parent may lay eggs on a leaf, then carry newly hatched tadpoles on its back to a pool no wider than a teacup. Some species return again and again to feed their young with unfertilized eggs, turning parenting into a repeated act of care. It is an astonishing solution to a dangerous problem. Large ponds may contain fish, insects, and other predators, while a hidden pool in the canopy can be safer. But it also dries quickly and holds very little food. So the frog trades one danger for another. It creates a family life in miniature, where survival depends on finding water in the leaves and remembering exactly where each tiny nursery waits. The forest floor is mostly powered by death and decay. Look down in a woodland, and you are seeing one of nature's greatest recycling systems. Leaves fall. Flowers wither. Branches snap. Animals leave scraps behind. None of it simply disappears. It enters a slow, crowded world of beetles, worms, springtails, millipedes, fungi, bacteria, and countless other decomposers. They break large remains into smaller pieces, then into compounds that plants can use again. This hidden work feeds the next generation of roots, shoots, flowers, and seeds. Without decay, the forest would choke on its own leftovers, and nutrients would remain locked inside dead matter. Instead, the ground becomes a place of transformation. A fallen leaf may become part of a mushroom, then soil, then a new tree. It is not gloomy or wasteful. It is the engine room of renewal. The living forest above depends on the dark banquet below, where endings are softened, taken apart, and return to the cycle of growth. A teaspoon of forest soil can hold billions of microbes. The ground beneath a forest is not just dirt. It is a crowded universe, packed with bacteria, archaea, tiny fungi, protists, and other microscopic life. In a single small scoop, there may be more organisms than there are people in many nations. Most are too small to see, yet their influence is enormous. Some break down dead material. Some help roots access nutrients. Others produce chemicals that affect plant growth or compete against harmful organisms. They live in films of moisture around grains of soil, in root zones, and in pockets of organic matter. This means every step through a woodland crosses an invisible metropolis. The soil has neighborhoods, food chains, chemical signals, and battles for space. Scientists are still discovering how many of these organisms exist and what they do. A forest's grandeur is easy to see in trunks and crowns, but much of its genius is microscopic, busy beneath the surface. Mycorrhizal fungi can trade minerals for sugar from tree roots. One of the forest's most important deals happens underground. Trees make sugars using sunlight, but they often struggle to reach certain nutrients locked in soil. Fungi have the opposite advantage. Their fine threads can slip into tiny spaces and absorb minerals more efficiently than roots alone. So the two partners exchange what each can spare. The plant gives carbon-rich food. The fungus delivers phosphorus, nitrogen, water, and trace elements gathered from the earth. This is not charity. It is a living marketplace shaped by need, scarcity, and negotiation. Some fungi receive more sugar when they provide more nutrients. Some plants favor the partners that help them most. Around a root, the soil becomes a zone of chemistry and trade, where invisible exchanges affect the health of the whole tree. It is strange to imagine a forest economy beneath your feet, but that is exactly what is happening. Sunlight and stone are being swapped in darkness. Some orchids depend on fungi before they can even sprout. Orchid seeds are almost impossibly small. Many are like dust, light enough to drift through the air, but they carry very little stored food. That makes the beginning of life difficult. A seed may land in the perfect patch of forest, yet it cannot grow unless the right fungus is present. The fungal partner enters the seed and supplies nutrients that allow the tiny plant to awaken. Only then can it begin forming the first structures that will one day become roots and leaves. Some orchids remain dependent on fungi for much longer, especially those that live in deep shade. Others eventually make more of their own food through photosynthesis. This relationship makes orchids both delicate and astonishing. Their beauty begins with an unseen alliance in the soil or bark. Before the flower, before the shape and color that people admire, there is a hidden dependency, a quiet beginning made possible by fungal life. The tallest trees lift water higher than a 30-story building. A giant tree performs an engineering feat every day without pumps, engines, or moving parts. Water enters through roots and rises through narrow tubes in the wood called xylem. It is pulled upward mainly because leaves lose water vapor to the air. As each molecule escapes, it tugs on the molecules behind it, creating a continuous chain from root to crown. This tension can draw water to remarkable heights. In the tallest trees, the journey is longer than the height of many buildings. Gravity resists every inch of the climb. Air bubbles can break the water column. Drought can strain the whole system. Yet the tree keeps lifting moisture to leaves where photosynthesis depends on it. The process is so elegant that it seems almost impossible. A living tower stands still in the forest, quietly raising water from the ground to the sky through nothing more than structure, sunlight, and the physics of attraction. Redwoods can drink fog through their leaves. Along parts of the Pacific coast, summer can be dry at ground level, while fog rolls in from the ocean. For coast redwoods, this mist is more than atmosphere. It is a lifeline. Their needles and small branches can capture moisture directly from fog, absorbing some of it and letting the rest drip down to the soil below. This helps the trees endure dry months and also waters the plants around them. Fog reduces water loss by cooling the air and raising humidity, which eases stress on the canopy. In a sense, these forests are tuned to the marine layer. The tallest trunks stand where ocean breath reaches inland, and their crowns comb moisture from passing clouds. A redwood grove can feel ancient and still, but above you it is harvesting water from the air. That ability helps explain how such immense trees survive where summer rain may be scarce. Mangrove forests shelter young fish among roots above seawater. Where land meets tropical coast, mangroves grow in a world that would kill many other trees. Salt water floods their roots. Mud holds little oxygen. Tides rise and fall each day. Yet mangroves turn these harsh conditions into protection. Their tangled roots form underwater corridors where young fish can hide from larger predators. Crabs, shrimp, snails, and small invertebrates gather there, creating rich feeding grounds. For many reef and coastal species, these root mazes work like nurseries before adulthood in open water. Mangroves also trap sediment, soften waves, and help stabilize shorelines during storms. Their leaves fall into the water and feed food webs that extend beyond the forest edge. What looks like a muddy thicket is actually a coastal life support system. In the spaces between roots, future fish grow stronger, tides bring food, and the boundary between forest and sea becomes one of the busiest habitats on Earth. Cloud forests harvest mist before it becomes rain. High on tropical mountains, some woodlands live inside drifting vapor. The air cools as it rises, and moisture condenses into fog that moves through branches like a living veil. Trees, mosses, ferns, and epiphytes capture droplets on their surfaces. Water gathers, runs along leaves, drips from roots, and reaches the ground even when no rain is falling. This makes the forest a kind of net for the sky. The plants are often covered in moss because the air is so damp, and the canopy can seem heavy with suspended water. These habitats are usually small, isolated, and rich in species found nowhere else. A frog, orchid, or salamander may live on one mountain range and nowhere beyond it. Their world depends on altitude, temperature, and mist arriving at the right height. When climate patterns shift, the cloud layer can move, leaving these forests stranded below the moisture they once collected. Ancient forests once helped bury carbon that became coal. Hundreds of millions of years ago, strange swampy forests spread across parts of Earth. They were filled with giant club mosses, horsetails, seed ferns, and early trees unlike most plants alive today. When this vegetation died, much of it fell into waterlogged ground where decay was slow. Oxygen was limited, and plant matter accumulated in thick layers of peat. Over immense stretches of time, burial, pressure, and heat transformed that material into coal. These black seams are not simply rocks. They are compressed remains of vanished forests. Their carbon came from ancient air, captured by photosynthesis and stored in trunks, stems, and leaves. Later, geological forces sealed it underground. When humans burn coal, we release energy from sunlight that fell on ecosystems older than dinosaurs. It is an astonishing connection between modern industry and lost wetlands. A lump of coal is a dark fossil of green abundance, shaped by time, pressure, and buried plant life. The first forests changed Earth's atmosphere forever. Before tall plants transformed the continents, the land looked far more open and unfamiliar. Early vegetation was low, simple, and limited. Then plants evolved stronger tissues, deeper roots, and the ability to grow upward into true forests. This changed the planet in profound ways. Roots cracked rock and helped form deeper soils. Leaves drew carbon dioxide from the air. dead plant material accumulated in wetlands and sediments. Over time, carbon burial affected the balance of gases in the atmosphere. As plant life expanded, oxygen levels also rose in some periods, influencing animal evolution and the chemistry of the world. Forests did not merely occupy land. They remade it. They created shade, soil structure, habitat complexity, and new opportunities for insects, amphibians, and other life. The arrival of forests was one of Earth's great turning points. The continents became greener, the air changed, and land began to hold ecosystems with height, shelter, and layered complexity. Forest birds can remember thousands of hidden food locations. In cold and seasonal woodlands, survival can depend on memory. Birds such as nutcrackers, chickadees, and jays store seeds or insects in many scattered places. Later, when food becomes scarce, they return to these hidden caches with astonishing accuracy. Some can remember thousands of locations across a landscape that looks almost identical to human eyes. They use landmarks, spatial patterns, and a highly active hippocampus, which is the brain region involved in memory and navigation. This ability is not a party trick. It can decide whether the bird lives through winter. A small seed tucked into bark or soil may become a meal weeks or months later. The forest becomes a mental map, filled with invisible points of value. What appears to be random hopping from branch to branch may actually be a precise journey through remembered space. These birds carry a hidden version of the woodland inside their brains. Jays plant future forests by forgetting buried acorns. Each autumn, jays gather acorns and hide them across the ground. They push them into soil, leaf litter, cracks, and mossy edges, often choosing places where the seed has a chance to remain safe. The bird intends to return and eat many of them later. But no memory is perfect, and some acorns are never recovered. Those forgotten stores can sprout into seedlings. In this way, a bird searching for winter food becomes an accidental gardener. Oaks benefit because their heavy acorns do not travel far on wind. They need animals to move them away from the parent tree, where competition and seed predators may be intense. Jays are especially useful because they carry seeds to suitable spots and sometimes bury them at the right depth. A future oak may begin as a mistake in a bird's memory. The forest expands not through planning, but through hunger, caching, and the beautiful imperfection of recall. Some trees produce massed years, flooding animals with sudden abundance. In certain years, many trees of the same species produce enormous crops of seeds or nuts at once. Oaks may cover the ground with acorns. Beeches may release heavy falls of beech nuts. This synchronized abundance is called masting, and it can transform the forest. Animals feast. Deer, bears, birds, squirrels, mice, and insects may all benefit from the sudden food supply. But the strategy also helps the trees. In lean years, seed-eating animals struggle or remain fewer in number. Then, when a mast year arrives, there are too many seeds for them to consume completely. Some survive and germinate. The timing is still not fully understood. Weather, stored energy, and chemical signaling may all play roles. The effect feels almost like a pulse moving through the woodland. One season the ground is ordinary. Another season it becomes a banquet, and the lives of animals shift around the sudden generosity of the trees. Squirrels help shape forests by hiding seeds underground. A squirrel burying a nut may look like a small, familiar scene, but it is part of a much larger process. Many squirrels store food in scattered caches rather than one central pile. They dig, bury, cover, and move on, building a hidden pantry across their territory. Some seeds are eaten later. Others are stolen by rivals. A portion is forgotten or abandoned, and those may germinate. This gives trees a way to spread heavy seeds beyond the shadow of their parent. The squirrel's choices matter. It may prefer certain seed sizes, avoid damaged nuts, or bury food in places that happen to suit young plants. In this way, animal behavior influences the future pattern of the woodland. The tree feeds the squirrel, and the squirrel carries the tree's offspring into new ground. A forest can owe part of its shape to countless small decisions made by creatures preparing for winter. Bears spread berry seeds across mountains through their droppings. When berries ripen, bears become moving dispersal machines. They can eat enormous quantities of fruit in a day, swallowing seeds along with the pulp. Those seeds pass through the digestive system and emerge far from the parent plant, often in a rich deposit of natural fertilizer. Because bears travel widely, crossing slopes, streams, meadows, and forest edges, they can move seeds across distances that a plant could never manage alone. This matters especially in mountain landscapes. Most suitable habitat can be patchy. A berry bush may find its next generation carried uphill, along a valley, or into a clearing where sunlight is stronger. The bear is not trying to plant anything. It is simply feeding. Yet its appetite links animal movement to plant expansion. In autumn, every berry meal becomes part of a larger exchange. The forest feeds the bear, and the bear quietly helps the forest scatter itself into the future. Wolves can change forests by changing deer behavior. A predator does not need to eat every herbivore to affect a landscape. Its presence can alter where prey animals go, how long they feed, and which places they avoid. When wolves move through a region, deer and elk may spend less time browsing in exposed areas or along certain stream banks. This can give young trees and shrubs a better chance to grow. In some ecosystems, changes in grazing pressure have been linked to the recovery of willows, aspens, and other vegetation. The story is complex because weather, human activity, and other animals also matter. Still, the central idea is powerful. Fear can have ecological consequences. A wolf moving through snow may influence a sapling it never touches. The sapling may shelter birds, shade water, and stabilize soil years later. A forest is shaped not only by what animals eat, but by where they feel safe enough to linger. Beavers build wet forests that shelter countless species. A beaver does more than gnaw trees. It changes water itself. By building dams from branches, mud, and stones, beavers slow streams and create ponds. Water spreads into surrounding ground, raising the local water table and forming wetlands. Dead trees may stand in the flooded area, while new plants colonize the edges. Frogs breed in the shallows. Ducks nest nearby. Insects multiply. Fish find slower water and shelter. Mammals come to drink and feed. During dry periods, beaver ponds can hold moisture in the landscape when other places are parched. They also trap sediment and improve habitat complexity. What begins as a lodge and dam for one family becomes an entire wet woodland system. The beaver is an engineer with teeth, instinct, and persistence. It rearranges branches, and the result is a patchwork of pools, channels, mud, and vegetation that supports far more life than a simple stream alone. Forest streams begin as tiny trickles beneath moss and roots. Many rivers do not start dramatically. They begin as seepage, droplets, and hidden flows emerging from shaded ground. In forests, rain soaks into soil, moves between roots, and gathers in hollows. Moss and leaf litter slow the water, giving it time to filter downward. Springs appear where underground flow meets the surface. At first, the channel may be narrow enough to step over, but it carries the beginning of something larger. These small headwaters are vital. Their cool temperatures shelter insects, salamanders, and young fish. Fallen leaves feed aquatic food webs. Roots hold banks in place and reduce erosion. Because they are small, people often overlook or damage them, yet they influence the quality of water far downstream. A great river may owe its clarity and rhythm to countless forest trickles joining together. The journey to the sea can begin in a quiet patch of moss, where water first decides to move. Moss can slow rainfall and protect soil from erosion. Moss seems soft and simple, but it performs important work on the forest floor. Its tiny stems and leaves form dense mats that catch raindrops before they strike bare earth. This reduces the force of falling water and helps prevent soil from splashing away. Moss can also hold moisture like a sponge, releasing it slowly after rain. On slopes, logs, rocks, and stream edges, that holding power can matter. It helps keep the surface cooler and wetter, creating shelter for small invertebrates and seedlings. Mosses do not have deep roots like trees, yet they cling closely to surfaces and build living carpets over time. In some forests, they help form peat, storing organic matter in wet conditions. Their scale is small, but their effect is steady. A patch of moss is not decoration. It is a water manager, nursery, cushion, and shield, working close to the ground where the forest is most vulnerable. Lichens can survive on bare bark, stone, and cold air. A lichen is not a single creature in the ordinary sense. It is a partnership, usually between a fungus and a photosynthetic partner such as an alga or cyanobacterium. Together they can live in places where many organisms cannot. They cling to tree bark, exposed rock, old fences, mountain ridges, and polar ground. The photosynthetic partner makes food from light. The fungus provides structure, protection, and a way to hold moisture. Some lichens can dry almost completely, then revive when water returns. Others grow so slowly that a patch may persist for decades. On bare stone, they can help begin soil formation by trapping dust and releasing acids that wither minerals. In forests, they provide nesting material, camouflage, food for some animals, and clues about air quality. Their toughness is mesmerizing. A lichen can seem like a stain on bark, yet it is a tiny cooperative world surviving on light, air, and patience. Some forest fungi glow faintly in the dark. In certain damp woods, decaying logs or mushrooms can shine with a soft greenish light. This natural glow is called bioluminescence, and it comes from chemical reactions inside living fungal tissue. The light may help attract insects that spread spores, although scientists are still studying its exact purpose in different species. To human eyes, the effect can feel almost unreal. A rotting branch becomes luminous. A mushroom cap appears to hold a hidden ember. The glow is usually faint, and it is easiest to see away from artificial light. What makes it especially fascinating is the contrast. These fungi are breaking down dead wood, yet they produce visible radiance while doing it. Decay becomes illuminated. In older accounts, glowing wood was sometimes called foxfire, and people noticed it long before the chemistry was understood. A forest at night may look dark, but in the right place, life is quietly making its own light. Fireflies use living light to signal through summer woods. On warm evenings, flashes appear between grasses, shrubs, and trees. Each flicker is made by a small beetle using chemistry with extraordinary efficiency. Inside special organs, oxygen reacts with light-producing molecules and enzymes, creating a glow with very little heat. Different firefly species flash in different patterns, and these rhythms help males and females find the right partners. Some answer from leaves. Others drift through the air, flashing as they fly. In certain places, whole groups can synchronize, turning a woodland edge into a field of pulsing signals. But the beauty has risk. Some predatory fireflies mimic the flashes of other species, luring hopeful males close enough to capture. This means every light can be invitation, identification, or trap. Fireflies remind us that communication in forests is not only sound and scent. It can be visible chemistry, timed in darkness, where a tiny lantern becomes a message written in living light. Cicadas can spend years underground before emerging together. For most of their lives, many cicadas are hidden beneath the soil. They live as nymphs, feeding on fluid from plant roots and growing slowly in darkness. Then, after years of waiting, some species emerge in astonishing numbers. Periodical cicadas are especially famous because entire broods surface together after long cycles. The ground opens. Nymphs climb trees and shed their old skins. Adults harden, call, mate, and lay eggs in a brief burst of activity. This mass emergence overwhelms predators. Birds, mammals, reptiles, and fish may feast, but there are simply too many cicadas to eat. Enough survive to continue the cycle. Their timing remains one of nature's great spectacles, driven by internal rhythms and environmental cues. To stand in a forest during such an emergence is to hear time itself become sound. Years of hidden growth rise all at once, filling the air with a chorus that began underground. Army ants create moving trails that transform the forest floor. In tropical forests, army ants do not always stay in one place. Their colonies can travel in vast columns, sending out living streams of hunters across the ground. Workers move with intense coordination, following scent trails and carrying prey, larvae, and sometimes each other. When a raid begins, insects, spiders, scorpions, and other small animals flee ahead of the swarm. Birds often follow the ants, not to eat them, but to catch the creatures flushed from hiding. This creates a moving disturbance that reshapes activity wherever it passes. Some animals avoid the trails. Others depend on them. The colony may form temporary nests out of its own bodies, with workers linking together to protect the queen and brood. There is no central commander directing each step. Instead, simple rules and chemical signals create organized motion. An army ant raid is like weather on legs, sweeping through the leaf litter and changing the forest for a moment. Some caterpillars disguise themselves as twigs, leaves, or bird droppings. Before a butterfly or moth ever takes wing, it may spend its youth trying very hard not to be noticed. Caterpillars are soft, protein-rich, and tempting to birds, wasps, spiders, and other predators. Many survive through deception. Some hold their bodies stiff and angled, matching the look of a broken twig. Others flatten against leaves and copy veins, edges, or patches of damage. A few resemble bird droppings so convincingly that predators ignore them as something unpleasant or useless. These disguises are not costumes chosen by the animal. They are body shapes, colors, postures, and behaviors refined by natural selection. Predators become the judges, and the least convincing individuals are more likely to vanish. The result can be almost comical in its perfection. A living creature becomes a stain, stem, or scrap of debris. In the forest, survival often belongs not to the strongest body, but to the best illusion. Walking sticks can vanish by perfectly copying forest branches. Some insects take camouflage to an extreme that seems almost theatrical. Walking sticks have long, narrow bodies, jointed legs, and colors that match bark, dry stems, or green shoots. Many remain still for long periods, making their disguise even harder to break. When they move, they may sway slightly, imitating a twig shifting in the breeze. Predators that hunt by sight can look directly at them and fail to recognize an animal at all. This illusion works because forests are visually crowded places. Branches cross, shadows move, leaves tear and curl. A body that fits this pattern can disappear in plain sight. Some species add extra tricks, such as thorny shapes, leaf-like flanges, or the ability to shed a limb and survive. Their lives show how powerful attention can be. The forest is not empty of hidden creatures. It is full of them, waiting inside the shapes your mind has already dismissed as wood. The deadliest tree poisons can hide inside beautiful fruits. Not every forest fruit is an invitation. Many plants protect their seeds or tissues with powerful chemicals, and some are dangerous enough to harm animals that eat them. Bright colors can signal ripeness, but they do not always mean safety for humans. Certain trees produce fruits, seeds, or sap containing toxins that affect the heart, nerves, or digestion. The manchineel of tropical coasts is infamous for its caustic sap and hazardous fruit. Yew trees carry dangerous compounds in most of their tissues, even though the red, fleshy covering around the seed looks attractive. These defenses evolved because plants cannot run from being eaten. Chemistry becomes armor. Sometimes a plant wants an animal to eat the fruit, but not crush the seed. Sometimes it discourages feeding altogether. The lesson is fascinating and practical. Beauty in a forest can be honest, deceptive, nourishing, or lethal. A glossy fruit may carry a story of survival written in poison. Fig trees can feed more animals than almost any plant. In many tropical forests, figs are among the great providers. They can produce fruit at times when other trees are bare, which makes them crucial during seasonal shortages. Birds, bats, monkeys, apes, rodents, and insects all come to feed. Some figs grow from trunks, branches, or high crowns, offering food at many levels of the forest. Because different fig species fruit at different times, they can support animals across much of the year. This steady supply gives them a special ecological role. Scientists sometimes call such plants keystone resources because so many creatures depend on them. A single fruiting tree can become a gathering place, alive with wings, calls, rustling leaves, and competition. Seeds then travel through the animals that ate them, spreading the next generation across the landscape. The fig's generosity is not sentimental. It is strategy. By feeding the forest, the tree recruits the forest to carry its future. Each fig species often depends on one tiny wasp. The relationship between figs and fig wasps is one of the most intricate partnerships in nature. What we call a fig is not a simple fruit. It is a hollow structure, lined inside with many tiny flowers. To pollinate them, a female wasp must enter through a small opening, often losing her wings as she squeezes inside. She lays eggs and carries pollen from the fig where she was born. The next generation develops within the structure. Males usually emerge first, mate with females, and help open a path. Then the new females collect pollen and leave to find another fig of the right species. In many cases, each fig species has its own matching wasp partner. The fit is so precise that the life cycles of both organisms are locked together. This hidden drama happens inside something that looks still and ordinary. A fig is not just food. It is a chamber of pollination, birth, and departure. Strangler figs begin life high in another tree's branches. A bird or bat may drop a fig seed far above the ground, lodged in a crack where leaves and dust have gathered. From that unlikely perch, the seed sprouts. At first, it lives like an epiphyte, using its host only as support. Then its roots begin descending through the air toward the soil. When they reach the ground, the young fig gains access to deeper water and nutrients. It grows faster, wrapping more roots around the trunk that first held it. Over years, those roots thicken into a lattice, and the fig's crown rises into the light. The host tree may weaken as competition increases, until it eventually dies and decays away. What remains can be a hollow tower of fig roots shaped around a vanished body. It is one of the forest's most dramatic beginnings. A seed that starts as a guest can become the architecture of a new tree. Bamboo forests can flower together after decades of waiting. Some bamboo species follow a rhythm so strange that it feels almost like a hidden calendar. For many years, they grow through stems, roots, and shoots without producing flowers. Then, across huge areas, plants of the same species may bloom at nearly the same time. This can happen even when the plants are separated by mountains, rivers, or human gardens. After flowering, many bamboos produce seed heavily and then die back. The sudden crop can feed birds, rodents, insects, and larger animals, creating a brief wave of abundance. It can also affect human communities when rodent numbers rise after feeding on the seed. Scientists still study how bamboo keeps such long timing. The signal seems to be internal, carried through generations of cloned growth. A grove can wait through the lives of animals, people, and whole villages, then flower in one shared moment. It is patience written into plant biology on a breathtaking scale. Some bamboos grow taller in a single day than children do. In the right conditions, certain bamboo shoots can rise with astonishing speed. Warmth, moisture, and stored energy from underground rhizomes allow growth that seems almost visible from morning to evening. Unlike many trees, bamboo does not widen through a ring of growing tissue in the same way. Each shoot emerges already organized into sections, then elongates rapidly as its cells expand. The energy for this surge has been gathered beforehand by the connected plant system below ground. This is why a new cane can shoot upward so quickly, racing toward light before surrounding plants shade it out. In forests where competition is intense, speed can be survival. The young stem hardens as it reaches height, becoming strong, hollow, and flexible. People use bamboo for scaffolding, tools, paper, flooring, baskets, and instruments, yet its living growth remains the most impressive part. It is a grass that can behave like a tower. The understory stays dim because leaves above capture most sunlight. Walk into a mature forest, and the light changes almost immediately. The canopy acts like a living filter, catching much of the sunlight before it reaches the lower layers. Leaves high above are positioned to harvest energy, and their overlapping surfaces cast shifting shade beneath them. The understory must survive on what remains. This creates a different world from the treetops. Plants here often have broader, thinner leaves to gather weak light. Many grow slowly, waiting for a gap to open when a branch breaks or a tree falls. Animals also adapt to the lower light, using scent, sound, movement, and memory to navigate. The dimness is not emptiness. It is a demanding environment where every patch of brightness matters. A seedling may wait years in shadow, barely growing, until one sudden shaft of sunlight gives it a chance to rise. In the forest, light is food, and shade shapes destiny. Shade plants can survive on light that barely reaches them. Some plants live where sunshine arrives only as a faint green glow. They do this through careful design. Their leaves are often broad, thin, and dark, with pigments arranged to capture weak light efficiently. Many reduce their energy costs by growing slowly and keeping leaves for a long time. Instead of rushing to flower or tower upward, They make patience into a strategy. Ferns, seedlings, and many understory herbs survive in this low-energy world. They may wait beneath larger plants for years, maintaining just enough growth to stay alive. When a gap opens overhead, they can respond quickly, using the sudden brightness to build new tissue. This ability changes how we think about stillness. A shaded plant is not failing. It is living within a strict energy budget, tuned to scraps of light that would be useless to faster-growing species. Its quiet success comes from doing less and doing it exceptionally well. Some flowers bloom at night for bats and moths. Not every blossom is meant for daylight. In many forests, certain flowers open after sunset, releasing strong scents that travel through cooler night air. Their colors are often pale, making them easier to see in moonlight or darkness. Some produce deep tubes of nectar suited to long-tongued moths. Others are sturdy and open enough for bats, which may brush their faces and bodies against pollen while feeding. These night partnerships are especially important in tropical regions, where nocturnal pollinators move between trees as the forest changes after dark. A flower that blooms at night avoids some daytime competitors and reaches a different set of visitors. The timing can be precise. Petals unfold, scent intensifies, nectar gathers, and pollen waits just as the pollinator becomes active. By morning, the flower may fade. Its whole performance belonged to the dark hours, when wings replaced bees and the forest's work continued under starlight. Bats pollinate forest plants while most birds are asleep. As night settles over a forest, bats begin a shift that many people never see. Nectar-feeding species move from flower to flower, guided by smell, memory, and sometimes echolocation. Their faces become dusted with pollen as they drink, and that pollen travels with them to the next plant. Some forest trees depend strongly on these visits, especially those with large, pale, night-opening flowers. Bats can cover long distances in a single night, which means they may connect plants that grow far apart. This helps maintain genetic diversity in scattered tree populations. They also pollinate plants that humans value, including species related to bananas, agaves, durians, and other tropical crops. Their role is not only ecological, but deeply practical. Without them, some fruits would become rarer, and some forests would reproduce less successfully. While the visible world sleeps, bats carry life between flowers, turning darkness into a route for renewal. Hummingbirds can defend tiny feeding territories with astonishing intensity. A hummingbird may weigh less than a coin, but its energy needs are immense. To stay alive, it must feed often from nectar-rich flowers and catch small insects for protein. Because nectar can be limited, some hummingbirds defend favorite patches with fierce determination. They perch nearby, watch carefully, and launch sudden chases at intruders. Their wings beat so quickly that they can hover, reverse, dart sideways, and rise almost instantly. In a forest clearing, one small bird can control a cluster of flowers like a guarded treasure. The relationship between hummingbirds and plants is finely shaped. Many flowers visited by them are tubular, brightly colored, and positioned for precise contact with the bird's head or bill. While the bird feeds, pollen transfers. The drama is tiny, fast, and easy to miss. A flash of feathers becomes both a territorial battle and a pollination event, linking speed, hunger, and the next generation of flowers. Tropical forests can hold hundreds of tree species in 1 hectare. In some tropical forests, a single area the size of a large city block can contain more tree species than entire temperate countries. This richness is one of the great puzzles of ecology. Many species live side by side, often with only a few individuals of each kind nearby. Differences in soil, shade, flooding, seed dispersal, pests, and partnerships all help create space for diversity. Natural enemies may prevent any one species from dominating because seedlings growing too close to their parent trees are more likely to encounter specialized insects or diseases. This gives rarer neighbors a chance. The result is a forest where identification can be difficult even for experts. Every few steps may bring a different bark pattern, leaf shape, fruit type, or flower structure. Such diversity makes the ecosystem resilient and astonishingly complex. It also means that losing a small patch can erase relationships we have not yet even discovered. Temperate forests change color when trees recover nutrients from leaves. Autumn is not simply a season of leaves dying beautifully. It is also a season of withdrawal and conservation. Before many broadleaf trees shed their leaves, they break down chlorophyll and pull valuable nutrients back into branches, trunks, and roots. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and other materials are too useful to waste. As the green pigment fades, other colors become visible. Yellow and orange pigments were already present in the leaves, hidden through summer by stronger green. In some species, red pigments are produced as the leaf changes, possibly helping protect tissues during the final stages of nutrient recovery. The result is a transformation that feels decorative, but it is deeply practical. A tree is preparing for winter by reclaiming what it can. Then the leaf falls, no longer worth maintaining through cold and low light. The forest canopy becomes a map of chemistry, thrift, and seasonal timing, glowing as the trees quietly take back their treasure. Autumn leaves reveal pigments that were hidden all summer. During the growing season, chlorophyll dominates the leaf. It captures sunlight and gives foliage its familiar green. But leaves also contain carotenoids, which produce yellows and oranges. These pigments help with photosynthesis and protect leaf tissues from excess light. While chlorophyll is abundant, it masks them. As days shorten and temperatures shift, chlorophyll breaks down faster than it is replaced. The hidden colors begin to show. This is why a green forest can suddenly turn gold without inventing that color from nothing. It was there all along, waiting beneath the green. Reds and purples are different because many trees make anthocyanins late in the season. Those pigments can act like sunscreen and may help the leaf finish its final work before falling. Autumn color is therefore not one simple event. It is a controlled ending where chemistry, light, and weather reveal the inner palette of leaves just before they return to the ground. Evergreens keep needles through winter to save energy. In cold or dry places, replacing all leaves every year can be costly. Evergreens take another approach. Their needles are tough, narrow, and protected by waxy coatings that reduce water loss. Many can tolerate freezing conditions and continue functioning when weather allows. Keeping foliage means the tree can begin photosynthesis quickly during mild periods, without first building a whole new canopy. This is especially useful where summers are short, soils are poor, or nutrients are hard to obtain. Needles are not fragile, seasonal tools. They are long-term investments. Their shape also helps shed snow and resist damage from wind. Pines, spruces, firs, and other evergreens may hold some needles for several years before replacing them gradually. The tree never becomes truly leafless, so it stays ready. In landscapes where winter dominates, this strategy can make the difference between merely surviving and slowly gaining enough energy to grow. Pine needles can survive freezing, drought, and hungry insects. A pine needle may look simple, but it is built for hardship. Its small surface area reduces water loss. A waxy outer layer helps seal in moisture. Sunken pores limit drying winds. Inside, tissues can tolerate cold conditions that would damage broader leaves. Many pines also produce resin and defensive chemicals that discourage insects and pathogens. Needles often grow in clusters, creating shapes that help manage snow, heat, and light. In dry, sandy soils, high mountains, coastal winds, and northern forests, these adaptations allow pines to live where many broadleaf trees struggle. Their toughness also comes with trade-offs. Needles usually photosynthesize more slowly than soft leaves, but they last longer and cost less to replace. This is survival through endurance rather than speed. A pine forest may seem harsh and spare, yet every needle is a small piece of engineering, shaped to hold water, withstand cold, and remain green through seasons that punish softness. Resin seals tree wounds and traps insects in sticky amber. When a conifer is cut, bitten, cracked, or invaded, resin can flow from the damaged area. This thick substance helps seal wounds and can block fungi, insects, and other threats. It is chemically complex, often containing compounds that are toxic or irritating to attackers. For bark beetles and other borers, resin can be a serious obstacle. A tree may flood a tunnel and push the invader out, or trap it inside a sticky defense. Over time, resin exposed to air can harden. Under the right burial conditions, ancient resin may eventually fossilize into amber. That process takes immense time, and it preserves more than hardened tree chemistry. Amber can capture tiny organisms, pollen, feathers, and fragments of forest life with exquisite detail. A defense that began as a response to injury can become a window into vanished ecosystems. Resin is both bandage and trap, flowing from the tree like liquid protection. Amber can preserve forest life for millions of years. Few fossils feel as intimate as amber. Inside a polished piece, a mosquito may still show delicate legs. A spider may appear paused in motion. A grain of pollen, a feather barb, or a tiny flower can be held with astonishing clarity. Amber begins as tree resin, sticky enough to catch small life and plant fragments. If it is buried and protected from decay, heat and pressure can slowly transform it into a fossil material. Unlike bones or shells, amber can preserve soft details that usually vanish. It tells us about ancient forests not only through large trees, but through the small lives moving around them. Scientists have studied insects trapped in amber to learn about past climates, pollination, parasites, and evolutionary change. It is tempting to think of amber as golden decoration, but it is far more than that. It is forest time made solid, holding moments that would otherwise be gone forever. Fossil forests show where ancient landscapes once stood upright. Sometimes the past is not found as scattered fragments, but as a whole scene frozen in place. Fossil forests can preserve tree stumps, roots, soil layers, fallen logs, and even the spacing between plants. These sites allow scientists to reconstruct ancient landscapes with unusual precision. They can show whether a place was swampy, dry, coastal, volcanic, tropical, or cold. In some locations, trunks were buried rapidly by ash, mud, or sediment, preserving them where they grew. The result is a buried woodland still standing in geological memory. Such places reveal forests from ages when the continents were arranged differently and the species were unfamiliar. Some belonged to worlds before flowering plants. Others grew near polar regions during warmer periods of Earth's history. A fossil forest is not merely evidence that trees once existed. It is a landscape with its feet still in the ground, a rooted message from a planet that no longer looks the same. Petrified wood keeps the shape of trees in stone. When a fallen tree is buried quickly by sediment or volcanic ash, decay can slow. Mineral-rich water may then move through the wood, depositing silica, iron, manganese or other minerals into the empty spaces within its tissues. Over long periods, the original organic material can be replaced or filled while the structure remains visible. Growth rings, bark textures, knots, and cell patterns may survive in stone. The result is petrified wood, a fossil that keeps the form of a tree but carries the weight and durability of rock. Its colors often come from trace minerals, producing reds, yellows, blacks, and purples that the living tree never showed. Holding a piece can feel strangely impossible. It looks like wood, but it is stone. It once grew from sunlight, water, and air, then passed through burial into mineral permanence. It is a tree remembered by geology, transformed without losing its shape. Tree rings record droughts, fires, floods, and volcanic winters. Each year, many trees in seasonal climates add a new ring of wood. The width and character of that ring reflect conditions during growth. A wet, favorable year may leave a wide band. A drought may produce a narrow one. Fire can scar the trunk. Flooding can alter growth. In years after major volcanic eruptions, cooler temperatures and dimmer sunlight may also appear in ring patterns. Scientists study these records through dendrochronology, comparing samples from living trees, dead wood, beams, and ancient remains. By matching patterns, they can build timelines reaching back thousands of years. The tree becomes a natural archive, storing environmental information without words. This is not memory as humans know it, but it is evidence written in tissue. A trunk can hold the history of storms, hardship, recovery, and climate. When researchers read its rings, they are listening to the years that passed through the tree one growing season at a time. Scientists can date ancient timber by matching ring patterns. Old wood can carry a timestamp hidden in its grain. Trees growing in the same region experience similar good and bad years, so their rings form recognizable patterns of wide and narrow bands. Researchers compare an unknown sample with established ring sequences from living trees and older preserved wood. When the pattern locks into place, they can identify when the tree grew, and often when it was cut. This technique has dated ancient buildings, shipwrecks, musical instruments, archaeological sites, and wooden tools. It can reveal whether a beam was reused from an older structure or whether a painting panel came from a particular period. The method is powerful because it links human history to climate history. A piece of timber from a roof or boat may still carry the rhythm of rainfall and temperature from centuries ago. In this way, forests become witnesses, and the wood humans used continues to speak long after the tree is gone. Some forests remember past fires through scars inside tree trunks. When a fire burns through a woodland without killing every tree, it may leave marks that remain for centuries. Heat can wound one side of a trunk, damaging bark and living tissue. If the tree survives, it grows new wood around the injury. The scar becomes sealed inside, like a dark chapter surrounded by later rings. Scientists can examine these fire scars to learn when past burns occurred and how often they returned. A single old tree may contain evidence of many fires, each one recorded in its own layer of growth. By studying many trees across a landscape, researchers can reconstruct fire history and understand how ecosystems behaved before modern fire suppression or land use changes. This knowledge helps guide better management today. The tree itself becomes a witness to heat, smoke, and recovery. Its body does not tell stories aloud, but inside the trunk are dates when flame passed and life continued. Indigenous forest knowledge has guided survival for thousands of years. For countless generations, indigenous peoples have lived with forests through observation, practice, and responsibility. Their knowledge includes where certain plants grow, when animals move, which trees provide medicine or food, and how fire can be used carefully to renew landscapes. In many places, cultural burning has reduced heavy fuel, encouraged useful plants, supported wildlife habitat, and maintained open forest structure. This understanding is not separate from science and value. It comes from long attention to place, tested across seasons and carried through story, ceremony, and daily work. Modern researchers increasingly recognize that many forests once considered untouched were actually shaped by skilled human care. Trails, groves, food plants, and fire patterns often reflect deep relationships between people and land. This matters because conservation is not only about keeping humans out. Sometimes it means remembering how people lived within forests well, and how that knowledge can help protect them now. Sacred groves protect rare species through cultural tradition. In many parts of the world, small patches of forest have been protected because communities consider them sacred. These groves may be linked to ancestors, spirits, temples, burial places, or local customs. Because cutting trees, hunting, or disturbing the site may be restricted, the grove can become a refuge for plants and animals that have disappeared from surrounding land. Some hold old trees, medicinal plants, birds, insects, and fungi that survive because belief created protection long before formal conservation laws existed. Their importance is not only biological. They also preserve memory, identity, and local responsibility. A sacred grove may be small enough to walk around in minutes, yet it can contain genetic diversity, rare species, and ecological relationships that matter far beyond its size. It shows that reverence can have practical consequences. When a community treats a forest patch as more than a resource, life can persist there through centuries of change. Forest trails often follow paths first shaped by animals. Long before a trail becomes visible to human feet, animals may have already found the easiest way through. Deer move along ridges, stream edges, and gaps in vegetation. Elephants open routes through dense growth. Wild pigs, tapirs, bears, and other mammals use repeated paths between feeding areas, water, and shelter. Over time, hooves and paws press the soil, break stems, and create corridors. Humans often notice these routes because they make sense. They avoid difficult slopes, follow natural contours, and lead toward useful places. In some regions, old animal paths became hunting tracks, village routes, trade paths, or modern trails. This means walking in a forest can place you inside a history of movement older than roads. The path underfoot may not have begun with people at all. It may have started as an animal decision, repeated across generations until the landscape remembered it. Many medicines began as chemicals made by forest plants. Plants cannot escape predators, infections, or competition, so they make chemistry their defense. Leaves, bark, roots, seeds, and flowers can contain compounds that deter insects, slow fungi, reduce grazing, or influence nearby organisms. Humans learn to use some of these chemicals as medicines. In forests, traditional healers, local communities, and later laboratory scientists found substances that affected pain, fever, infection, blood pressure, and other conditions. Not every natural compound is safe, and many are dangerous, but some became the basis for important treatments after careful study and refinement. This makes a forest not only a habitat, but a living chemical library. Every species may contain molecules shaped by millions of years of survival. Many have never been tested or even named. When forests vanish, unknown chemistry disappears with them. A small plant in the shade may hold a compound that could one day change medicine, if it is allowed to remain long enough to be understood. Willow bark inspired one of the world's most famous pain medicines. For centuries, people used willow bark to ease pain and fever. The reason lies in compounds that the body can transform into salicylic acid, a substance with anti-inflammatory effects. Later, chemists studied and modified related molecules, eventually leading to acetyl salicylic acid, better known as aspirin. The modern medicine is not simply ground bark. It is a refined product of scientific development, but its history is tied to observation of a tree. This story shows how traditional knowledge and chemistry can meet. A plant's defensive compounds, made for its own purposes, became useful to humans in a carefully controlled form. Willow trees often grow near water, with flexible branches and narrow leaves, and they seem ordinary at first glance. Yet their bark helped inspire one of the most widely used medicines in history. A familiar tree by a riverbank became part of a medical journey that reached pharmacies, hospitals, and homes around the world. The rosy periwinkle changed cancer treatment after growing in forests. On the island of Madagascar, a small flowering plant with pink or white blooms became one of medicine's most important botanical stories. The rosy periwinkle was studied because of its traditional uses, but researchers discovered compounds that affected cell division. Two of them became powerful cancer drugs after careful isolation and development. They proved especially important in treating childhood leukemia and Hodgkin lymphoma, helping transform outcomes for many patients. The plant did not evolve these molecules for human medicine. They were part of its own biology. Yet through research, they became tools for saving lives. This story also carries a warning. Madagascar's forests hold extraordinary biodiversity, much of it found nowhere else. When habitats disappear, potential medicines may vanish before anyone knows they exist. A modest plant growing in a threatened landscape helped change oncology. It reminds us that forests can hold answers to questions humans have not yet learned how to ask. Forest scents can come from defensive chemicals released by leaves. That fresh green smell after leaves are crushed or cut is often a signal of damage. Plants release volatile compounds when tissues are torn by insects, wind, browsing, or human hands. These airborne chemicals may help seal wounds, deter attackers, or alert nearby parts of the same plant. Some can attract predators or parasites of the herbivores doing the damage. To us, the scent may seem pleasant, clean, or nostalgic. To organisms in the forest, it can mean danger, food, injury, or opportunity. A woodland smell is not a single perfume. It is a shifting mixture of messages from leaves, bark, soil, flowers, fungi, and microbes. Heat, rain, season, and time of day all change it. The air becomes a chemical conversation that human noses notice only in fragments. What we experience as the smell of being outdoors may actually be the forest responding to life, stress, and survival. Pine forests smell sharp because trees release aromatic resins. The scent of pines comes from volatile compounds, especially terpenes, that evaporate from needles, bark, and resin. These molecules help defend the tree against insects and pathogens. Some contribute to the sticky flow that seals wounds. Others drift into the air, giving pine woods their crisp, resinous smell. On warm days, the fragrance can intensify as heat increases evaporation. After rain, it may mingle with damp soil and bark, creating a scent that feels instantly recognizable. These compounds are not made for human enjoyment. They are part of the tree's survival chemistry. Yet they shape how people remember mountain slopes, sandy pine barrens, winter forests, and sunlit trails. In large quantities, plant emissions can even influence atmospheric chemistry, helping form tiny particles involved in haze and cloud processes. A pine forest's smell is therefore more than atmosphere in the emotional sense. It is defense, evaporation, climate interaction, and memory carried on the air. Rain on dry forest soil can awaken earthy scents. After a dry spell, the first drops of rain can release a smell so distinctive that many people recognize it instantly. Part of that scent comes from geosmin, a compound produced by certain soil bacteria. During dry weather, it can accumulate in the ground. When raindrops strike soil, they trap tiny air bubbles that burst upward, carrying microscopic particles and aromatic molecules into the air. Plant oils stored on dry surfaces may also contribute. The result is petrichor, the earthy smell often associated with rain after heat or drought. In a forest, this scent can rise from paths, leaf litter, exposed roots, and shaded soil. It is not merely water meeting dust. It is chemistry lifted by impact, a signal that conditions have changed. For some animals, rain scents may help guide movement or feeding. For humans, it can feel like relief because the ground itself seems to breathe again. Forest air can carry microbial life between distant places. The air in a forest is not empty. It contained pollen, spores, bacteria, tiny fragments of leaves, and microscopic particles lifted from soil, bark, water, and animal bodies. Winds can carry some of this life far beyond the place where it began. Fungal spores may travel between trees or across regions. Bacteria can rise with dust and moisture. Pollen can drift over valleys, lakes, and cities. In some cases, microbes become part of atmospheric processes, interacting with droplets or ice formation. This means a forest is not sealed within its edges. It releases living traces into the sky, and it receives them from elsewhere. Every breath of woodland air contains an invisible mixture of local biology and travelers from beyond the canopy. Most are harmless. Some are essential to reproduction and decay. A forest does not only spread through roots and seeds. It also sends pieces of itself riding on the wind. Some seeds travel for miles by floating on forest rivers. A river through a forest is not only water moving downhill. It is also a road for the future. Many plants release seeds that can float, protected by tough coats, air spaces, fibrous husks, or waxy surfaces. When rain swells streams and floods spread through lowland forests, seeds can be lifted from the ground and carried far from the parent plant. Some settle in muddy banks. Others lodge against roots, fallen branches, or fresh deposits of silt. This kind of travel matters because a seed that lands too close to its parent may face too much shade, competition, or attack from creatures that specialize in that species. Water gives it distance. In floodplain forests, the timing of fruiting can match seasonal rises in rivers, turning floods into dispersal events. What looks like a drifting speck may be a tree beginning its journey. The current carries not just debris, but possibility. Maples send seeds spinning like tiny helicopters. A maple seed falls with a built-in wing. Its papery structure is called a samara, and as it drops, air catches the wing and makes the seed rotate. This spinning slows its descent, giving wind more time to carry it away from the parent tree. The motion is so efficient that engineers have studied it to understand flight at small scales. Each seed is shaped so that air pressure and gravity work together, turning a fall into a controlled spiral. Children notice the magic first, watching the seeds twirl to the ground like little flying machines. But the design is practical. A seed that travels even a short distance may find more light, less competition, or a better patch of soil. In autumn or spring, a maple can release thousands of these airborne travelers. The forest floor receives them as a fluttering rain of chances, each one spinning toward a possible future. Exploding seed pods can launch future plants away from shade. Some plants do not wait for wind, water, or animals. They build tension into their own fruits until the moment of release. As the pod dries or swells, its tissues store mechanical energy. Then a touch, a change in humidity, or simple ripeness can trigger a sudden snap. Seeds shoot outward, sometimes landing far enough to escape the parent's shadow. Jewelweed is a famous example, with pods that spring open when touched. Other forest-age plants use similar ballistic dispersal, turning the fruit itself into a launch device. The distances may seem small to us, but for a tiny seed, even a few feet can matter. It might mean brighter light, looser soil, or fewer competitors. The drama lasts less than a second. A quiet pod becomes a catapult. In that instant, the plant solves a problem that every rooted life must face. It cannot walk away, so it throws its children outward. Coconut forests spread partly because seeds can cross seawater. A coconut is more than a fruit. It is a survival capsule. Its thick, fibrous husk helps it float, while the hard inner shell protects the seed inside. This allows coconuts to travel across salt water, sometimes drifting from one shore to another before washing up on beaches or coastal forest edges. If conditions are suitable, the seed can sprout where it lands. The young plant uses stored food and water inside the coconut as it begins life in sand that may be hot, salty, and unstable. This helps explain how coconut palms spread across tropical coasts and islands, although human movement also played a major role. Their success comes from being built for a world where land is broken by ocean. To hold a coconut is to hold a small vessel, one that can survive waves, sun, salt, and time, long enough to turn a distant beach into a new grove. Tapirs prune tropical forests like quiet gardeners of the night. A tapir moves through the forest with a body that seems assembled from several animals at once. It has sturdy legs, a rounded shape, and a flexible snout that helps it grasp leaves and fruit. Most active under cover of darkness, it feeds on vegetation and walks long distances through dense habitat. As it browses, it trims young shoots and affects which plants grow back. When it eats fruit, it swallows seeds that later pass through its body and fall in new places. Some large seeds can be moved effectively by tapirs because smaller animals may not carry them far. This makes the animal important for forest renewal. Its trails can also create small openings and routes used by other creatures. The tapir does not appear dramatic or loud, yet its influence spreads through the plants it eats, the seeds it carries, and the paths it makes in the understory. Hornbills carry large seeds across tropical canopies. In tropical forests of Africa and Asia, hornbills are among the most impressive fruit-eating birds. With large bills, strong flight, and wide ranges, they can swallow fruits that smaller birds cannot handle. Many seeds pass through their digestive system and are dropped far from the parent tree. This distance can be crucial for plants whose seedlings need escape from predators, diseases, or deep shade near the adult. Hornbills often travel across broken forest patches, carrying genetic material between places that might otherwise become isolated. Some species nest in tree cavities, and the female may seal herself inside with mud and droppings while the male brings food. That unusual nesting life depends on mature trees, which makes hornbills vulnerable when old forests are lost. Their role is larger than their striking appearance. Each flight can become a delivery, each meal a planting event, and each surviving bird a link between the canopy and the next generation of trees. Cassowaries spread rainforest seeds too large for most animals. In the rainforests of New Guinea and northeastern Australia, the cassowary looks almost prehistoric. It has powerful legs, glossy black feathers, a blue neck, and a tall casque on its head. Its diet includes many fruits, some of them large and heavy. The bird swallows them whole, and their seeds pass through its digestive tract before being deposited elsewhere in nutrient-rich droppings. Some rainforest plants have seeds so large that only big animals like cassowaries can move them effectively. Without such dispersers, those plants may struggle to spread beyond the shade of their parents. Cassowaries can travel through dense vegetation and across uneven ground, carrying seed through parts of the forest that smaller animals cannot use in the same way. The bird's importance is hidden inside its appetite. A fruit disappears into a cassowary, and later, a future tree lands in a new patch of forest. The rainforest moves forward on strong, silent legs. The harpy eagle hunts monkeys high above the forest floor. In the tropical forests of Central and South America, one of the world's most powerful eagles rules the canopy. The harpy eagle has massive talons, broad wings, and the strength to seize animals that live high in the trees. Monkeys and sloths are among its prey. Unlike birds that hunt in open sky, it must maneuver through branches, timing its flight through gaps in the forest structure. Its wings are relatively short and broad for its size, which helps with control in tight spaces. A nesting pair needs a large territory because big prey is spread unevenly across the forest. This makes the species a sign of extensive habitat. Seeing one is rare, but its presence reveals that the upper forest still holds enough life to support a top predator. The canopy may look peaceful from below, yet above the leaves, a hunter waits with grip strong enough to change a creature's fate in an instant. Jaguars help balance rainforests by shaping prey populations. A jaguar is more than a beautiful predator moving through shadow. It is one of the great regulators of tropical forests. By hunting animals such as peccaries, deer, capybaras, caimans, and other prey, it influences feeding pressure, movement, and behavior across the ecosystem. Its bite is unusually powerful, allowing it to pierce skulls or armored prey in ways many other cats cannot. Jaguars also connect forest with river because they swim well and often hunt near water. Their presence can prevent certain herbivores from becoming overly dominant in some areas, which may help vegetation recover and diversify. The full web of effects varies from place to place, but the principle is clear. A top predator does not exist apart from the forest. It shapes the rhythm of life around it. When jaguars disappear, something larger than one animal is lost. The balance of fear, feeding, and movement begins to change. Orangutans build new sleeping nests almost every night. High in the rainforests of Borneo and Sumatra, orangutans end the day with remarkable skill. They bend branches, weave leafy platforms, and create sleeping nests in the canopy. Often, they build a fresh one, rather than returning to the same place. The structure may include a mattress of branches, a leafy lining, and sometimes a roof when rain threatens. This behavior requires strength, judgment, and knowledge of tree materials. A good nest must support a large body through the night, high above the ground. Young orangutans learn by watching their mothers, gradually improving their technique. These nests also matter to scientists, who count them to estimate orangutan populations in dense forests where the animals themselves are hard to see. Every abandoned platform is evidence of a night spent overhead. It tells a small story of intelligence, comfort, weather, and survival in a world where sleep itself must be carefully built among the branches. Chimpanzees use forest tools to fish termites from mounds. In African forests and woodlands, chimpanzees reveal a form of intelligence that feels startlingly familiar. They select stems, twigs, or grass blades, modify them with their fingers or teeth, and insert them into termite tunnels. When soldier termites bite the tool, the chimpanzee pulls it out and eats them. This is not random poking. Different communities have distinct techniques, and young chimps learn by watching skilled adults. Some prepare tools in advance, stripping leaves or shaping the end to work better. Others use separate tools for puncturing and fishing. The behavior shows planning, patience, and cultural variation passed through social learning. A termite mound becomes more than an insect structure. It becomes a problem to solve. The chimpanzee studies it, chooses a tool, and extracts food hidden behind hardened walls. In that moment, the forest is not merely a place to forage. It is a workshop, and knowledge moves from one generation to the next. Forest ravens solve problems with surprising patience and planning. Ravens are among the most intelligent birds in woodland and mountain ecosystems. They remember faces, hide food, watch rivals, and sometimes pretend to cache an item in one place while keeping it for another. In experiments, they have solved puzzles requiring sequence, restraint, and tool-like reasoning. In the wild, that intelligence helps them survive in changing conditions. A raven may follow predators to scavenge leftovers, inspect unfamiliar objects, or coordinate with a mate. Their social lives are complex, with alliances, competition, and play. Young ravens often explore the world with restless curiosity, testing what can be opened, moved, stolen, or eaten. This flexibility is one reason they thrive across many landscapes, including forests. They are not simply dark shapes calling from branches. They are careful observers with excellent memories and a talent for opportunity. In a forest full of hidden food and danger, a mind like that becomes a powerful survival tool. Some trees can live hollow while staying alive outside. A tree's center can rot away while the living part continues to grow. This is possible because most vital transport happens in tissues near the outer layers. The xylem carries water upward, while the phloem moves sugars through the inner bark. The heartwood in the center may provide strength, but it is often no longer living tissue. If fungi hollow it out without destroying the outer vascular system, the tree can remain alive for many years. From the outside, leaves may still unfold each spring. Flowers may bloom. Seeds may form. Inside, a cavity slowly expands. This seems impossible until you realize that a tree is not alive in the same way throughout its whole trunk. Life is concentrated in a growing shell. A hollow tree may be weakened by wind or age, yet it can still function. It is both living plant and open chamber, carrying green branches above an empty heart. Hollow trunks become homes for bats, birds, and insects. When a cavity forms inside a tree, it creates shelter that many animals cannot build for themselves. Woodpeckers may excavate openings first, or decay may create hollows naturally. Later, owls, parrots, ducks, squirrels, bats, bees, beetles, and other creatures may use the space. A hollow can provide insulation from heat and cold, protection from rain, and concealment from predators. In older forests, these cavities are especially valuable because they take a long time to form. Young plantations often lack them, which can limit nesting and roosting species even when trees are present. Some animals are so dependent on hollows that the loss of old trees can threaten whole populations. A trunk with a dark opening may look damaged to human eyes, but to wildlife it can be prime real estate. It is a nursery, sleeping chamber, refuge, and winter shelter. The forest's aging bodies become architecture for others. Dead standing trees are nurseries for forest wildlife. A dead tree that remains upright is called a snag, and it can be one of the busiest structures in a woodland. Insects tunnel beneath bark. Fungi soften the wood. Woodpeckers arrive to feed and carve cavities. Later, those holes may be used by birds and mammals that cannot excavate their own homes. The exposed branches offer hunting perches for raptors and singing posts for smaller birds. As the snag decays, its bark loosens, its interior changes, and different species use it at different stages. Eventually it may fall, continuing its role on the ground as food and cover. Removing dead trees can make a forest look tidy, but it also removes habitat. The snag is not a failure of the forest. It is part of its life cycle. Even without leaves, it supports feeding, nesting, hiding, and reproduction. It stands like a vertical reef, made of old wood and crowded with new life. Nurse logs help seedlings grow above crowded, shaded soil. A fallen trunk can become a raised nursery for young plants. As it decays, it holds moisture, gathers leaf litter, and releases nutrients slowly. Seeds landing on its surface may avoid some ground-level competition, flooding, or thick mats of leaves. In damp forests, nurse logs are especially important. Moss may cover them first. Then tiny roots enter softened wood, using it like a sponge and anchor. Seedlings growing there can form a line along the trunk, marking the shape of the old tree beneath them. As the log continues to break down, the young trees may send roots around it and into the soil below. Later, when the wood vanishes, their roots can remain raised like stilts, showing where the nursery once stood. This is one of the forest's most elegant successions. One tree falls, and its body becomes the bed from which another generation rises. Forest gaps become bright nurseries after old trees fall. When a large tree crashes down, it changes the forest instantly. The canopy opens. Sunlight pours into a patch that may have been shaded for decades. Seeds already waiting in the soil respond. Saplings that survived in dim light begin to grow faster. Vines, shrubs, herbs, and pioneer trees may race to occupy the new space. Insects arrive for fresh leaves and exposed wood. Birds and mammals visit for fruit, cover, or prey. A gap is not simply damage. It is a pulse of opportunity. Forests depend on these small disturbances because they create variety. Different species need different amounts of light, and without openings, shade-tolerant plants could dominate too strongly. The fallen tree also adds wood, nutrients, and shelter to the ground. From one collapse, the forest makes a miniature beginning. The sound may be violent, but what follows can be abundance, competition, and renewal in a sudden circle of sun. Hurricanes can reset forests without destroying their future. A powerful storm can tear through a forest with breathtaking force. Winds snap trunks, strip leaves, and topple old giants. At first, the damage may look absolute. Yet many forests in hurricane-prone regions have evolved with such disturbances. Broken canopies allow sunlight to reach the ground. Surviving trees resprout. Seeds germinate in open spaces. Fallen wood feeds decomposers and shelters animals. Some species are adapted to bend, recover, or grow quickly after storm damage. The forest that returns may not be identical because storms favor certain plants and change the balance of age and structure. But this is part of its history. Repeated hurricanes can create mosaics of young growth, old survivors, and tangled debris. The future is not erased. It is redirected. A storm can act like a rough editor, removing some lives, releasing others, and giving the next chapter of the forest a different shape. Avalanches create forest mosaics along steep mountain slopes. On snowy mountains, forests are shaped not only by soil and sunlight, but by gravity. Avalanches sweep down steep channels, breaking trees and clearing strips through the slope. These paths may remain open or fill with young shrubs and saplings. Beside them, older forest continues to stand. Over time, the mountainside becomes a patchwork of different ages and structures. Some plants thrive in the disturbed corridors where light is stronger. Animals may use these openings for feeding, movement, or hunting. Snow slides can also transport wood, nutrients, and soil down slope, linking high and low parts of the forest. The pattern is often visible from a distance, with pale tracks cutting through darker trees. What looks like a scar is also habitat. In mountain forests, disturbance arrives in long white rushes, then leaves behind space for new growth. The landscape becomes a record of winters, slopes, and the sudden release of stored snow. Glaciers once pushed forests south, then trees slowly returned. During the Great Ice Ages, massive glaciers covered huge regions of the northern hemisphere. Forests could not remain under grinding ice, so tree populations survived farther south or in scattered refuges where conditions allowed. As the climate warmed and the ice retreated, trees expanded again. They did not march as armies, but spread seed by seed, generation by generation. Pines, birches, oaks, spruces, and other species moved at different speeds, following suitable temperature, rainfall, and soil. Pollen preserved in lake sediments lets scientists trace these returns through time. The forests we see today are partly the result of those ancient migrations. They are not fixed, timeless arrangements. They are living responses to climate history. A woodland in Europe or North America may owe its present mix of species to events that began under ice thousands of years ago. The trees came back slowly, filling emptied ground as the frozen world withdrew. The taiga circles the planet across northern continents. The boreal forest forms an enormous green belt across Alaska, Canada, Scandinavia, and Russia. It is the largest terrestrial biome on Earth, stretching through long winters, short summers, bogs, lakes, and dark conifer stands. Spruce, pine, fir, birch, larch, mosses, and lichens dominate many regions. The animals that live there must cope with cold, snow, insects, fire, and dramatic seasonal change. Moose browse in wetlands. Lynx follow snowshoe hares through the trees. Migratory birds arrive in summer to breed while insects are abundant. The scale is difficult to grasp. This forest wraps around the top of the world like a living band. It influences climate, stores carbon, supports indigenous cultures, and provides habitat across continents. Though it may seem remote, its health matters globally. A change in this northern belt can affect atmosphere, wildlife, wildfire patterns, and the future of cold region ecosystems. Boreal owls hunt beneath winter skies in frozen forests. In northern forests, the boreal owl lives in a world of snow, darkness, and patience. It is small, round-headed, and superbly adapted for hunting in dim light. Its hearing helps it detect small mammals moving beneath vegetation or snow crusts. Like many owls, its flight is softened by specialized feathers that reduce noise. It often nests in cavities made by woodpeckers, depending on older trees and the work of other species. In winter, when the forest seems still, voles and mice remain active in tunnels under the snow. The owl listens from a perch, then drops with sudden precision. Its life is tied to cycles of prey, abundance, forest structure, and cold nights. There is something remarkable about such a small predator surviving where temperatures plunge and daylight fades. It does not conquer the frozen forest by force. It survives through silence, timing, and senses sharpened for the dark. Snow can insulate roots from the coldest air above. Snow feels cold to touch, yet for forest plants it can act like a protective blanket. Fresh snow contains many tiny air spaces, and trapped air slows the movement of heat. When a deep layer covers the ground, soil temperatures beneath it can remain far more stable than the air above. This protects roots, seeds, fungi, insects, and small mammals from the most extreme winter cold. In northern and mountain forests, the difference can be life-saving. Without snow cover, exposed soil may freeze harder and deeper, damaging fine roots and affecting spring growth. The timing matters too. Early snow can protect the ground before severe cold arrives. Late or thin snow can leave roots vulnerable. Beneath the white surface, life does not stop entirely. Microbes continue slowly. Animals tunnel. Roots wait. The forest uses snow not only as a season of hardship, but as insulation that guards its hidden living parts. Forests on mountains change character with every climb upward. Climbing a mountain can feel like traveling through different worlds stacked on top of one another. At lower elevations, warmth may support broadleaf trees, dense undergrowth, and many insects. Higher up, temperatures fall, soils thin, and winds strengthen. The forest changes. Trees may become shorter, slower growing, and more cold-tolerant. Spruces, firs, pines, or birches may replace species from below. Moisture also shifts with elevation, creating cloud belts on some mountains and dry slopes on others. Because conditions change over short distances, mountain forests often hold rich variety. A species may be common in one band and absent just a little higher. Animals follow these zones too, using different elevations for feeding, nesting, or seasonal movement. This makes mountains living gradients. Each step upward alters the rules of survival. The forest is not one uniform blanket over the slope. It is a series of habitats arranged by temperature, wind, water, and height. Tree lines mark where cold defeats upright forest growth. At high elevations and far northern latitudes, trees eventually reach a limit. Beyond it, conditions become too harsh for upright forests to continue. The growing season may be too short. Winds may strip moisture. Cold may damage tissues before new growth can mature. Snow and ice can break exposed branches. At the tree line, trunks often become stunted, twisted, or pressed close to the ground, where they can shelter beneath snow and avoid the worst wind. This zone is not always a sharp border. It can be a ragged transition between forest and tundra or alpine vegetation. The tree line is useful because it reveals climate in living form. When temperatures shift over long periods, these boundaries can move. A line of small, struggling trees on a mountain slope tells a powerful story. It marks the edge of what wood, leaves, and roots can endure. Some alpine trees grow twisted by wind, ice, and sunlight. Near the upper limits of forests, trees often abandon the straight forms seen below. Their trunks bend, branches grow mostly on sheltered sides, and crowns become flattened or flag-like. This growth form is called crumholz in many mountain regions. It develops because wind carries ice crystals, snow, and abrasive particles that damage exposed buds and needles. Sunlight can warm one side while freezing air attacks another. Snowpack may protect lower branches while everything above is battered. The tree survives by growing where conditions allow, not where symmetry would look pleasing. These twisted shapes are records of weather. Each bend and missing branch tells of storms, cold nights, and years when survival mattered more than height. In gentler places, a tree can rise proudly upward. On alpine edges, it must negotiate with the elements. The result is not deformity. It is resilience sculpted into wood. Rainforests recycle water so efficiently that rivers fly overhead. In tropical rainforests, water moves upward as well as downward. Roots draw moisture from soil, and leaves release vapor into the air. This vapor joins the atmosphere and can help form clouds that later fall as rain. The process repeats across huge regions, so moisture may be used again and again as air masses travel over forest. Some scientists describe these flows as aerial rivers because they carry enormous amounts of water through the sky. This recycling helps maintain rainfall far from the original source of evaporation. It also means that forest loss can weaken the system. Fewer trees release less vapor. Air dries. Rain patterns may shift. The idea is astonishing because it changes the way we imagine a forest. It is not only rooted in the ground, it is connected to the sky through billions of leaves, lifting water into moving currents that can feed rain far away. The Amazon releases airborne moisture that travels across continents. The Amazon is so vast that its daily breathing of water affects places far beyond the forest itself. Trees draw moisture from deep and shallow soil, then release it through their leaves. This vapor rises, gathers, and moves with winds across South America. It can help supply rainfall to distant regions, including agricultural areas and river basins outside the forest. The process is sometimes described as flying rivers because invisible streams of moisture travel through the atmosphere. Mountains, pressure systems, and seasonal winds help guide these flows. The forest therefore acts like a living pump, returning water to the sky after rainfall has entered the land. If large areas are cleared, less moisture is recycled, and the consequences may reach well beyond the cleared ground. The Amazon is not only a home for species. It is part of a continental water system, moving rain through air in ways that farms, cities, and rivers depend on. Forest recovery can begin with lichens, grasses, and pioneer trees. After a landslide, fire, flood, lava flow, or abandoned clearing, a forest does not return all at once. It begins with species that can tolerate exposure, poor soil, strong sun, and unstable conditions. Lichens may colonize rock. Grasses and herbs may cover open ground. Shrubs can follow. Pioneer trees such as birch, aspen, alder, or certain pines often grow quickly, creating shade and adding organic matter through fallen leaves and roots. Some improve soil by partnering with microbes that fix nitrogen. As conditions change, slower growing species may establish beneath them. This process is called succession, and it can take decades or centuries depending on climate and disturbance. The first arrivals are not lesser members of the forest. They are builders of possibility. They soften extremes, hold soil, and prepare the way for a more complex community. Recovery begins with the species brave enough to live where the forest is not yet ready. Every forest is a living conversation between sunlight, soil, and time. A forest begins with energy from the sun, but it becomes something greater through patience and exchange. Light feeds leaves. Leaves build sugars. Roots search the ground. Fungi, microbes, and animals move nutrients through living and dead matter. Seasons test every organism. Storms open spaces. Seeds wait, travel, sprout, or fail. Some trees rise quickly and vanish within decades. Others stand for centuries, gathering history in wood. No single part explains the whole. The forest is process, not object. It is growth and decay happening at once. It is competition and cooperation braided together. It is water climbing trunks, carbon entering tissue, minerals returning from fallen bodies, and life adjusting to every change. To walk through one is to enter a system older than any path through it. The forest is never finished. It is always becoming itself again, shaped by sunlight above, soil below, and time moving through every root and leaf. And so, We come to the edge of the forest path. Tonight, we wandered among living towers of wood and leaf. We followed water as it rose through trunks, drifted into clouds, and returned as rain. We listened for the hidden conversations beneath the soil, where roots and fungi trade in darkness. We met ants that farm, birds that plant, owls that fly without a sound, and seeds that spin, float, burst, and travel toward new beginnings. We saw that a forest is never just scenery. It is shelter, memory, chemistry, weather, and time. It is the hush beneath a canopy, the glow of fungi on old wood, the scent of rain waking dry soil, and the slow return of life after fire, storm, or ice. Every fallen log becomes a nursery. Every hollow trunk becomes a home. Every leaf, root, feather, and footprint belongs to something larger. And now, you can let that larger world soften around you. There is nothing more to follow for now. Let the forest become still in your mind. Imagine the last light fading between the trees. The air is cool. The moss is soft. Somewhere far away, water moves over stones. Somewhere above, branches shift, and the night settles gently into the leaves. If you enjoyed this journey, you're very welcome to like, subscribe, or leave a quiet thought below. It helps others find these calm explorations too, one sleepy soul at a time. And if you happen to still be awake, there should be another video waiting on the screen, ready to carry you into a new corner of wonder. But for now, let your shoulders loosen. Let your breathing slow. Let the forest fade into a soft green dream and allow yourself to rest. Sleep well and good night.